welcome Emma, thank you so much for making the trip over. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited about this show, and I'd love to really get into what it is that inspired this show in particular.
It's quite a large body of work that I've worked on over many months, and mainly it's my main love, which is Burgh Island, where we have a family home, and I'm known as Island Artist. And so the collection will be showing quite a large amount of seascapes and landscapes based around this area, not just Burgh Island but around the coast path as well. I absolutely love to walk along the coast path in all weathers with my dogs. Sometimes on my own, sometimes with friends, depends. And I sort of soak up the atmosphere and the elements, and then I translate that into my paintings. I am a bit of a free spirit, so I just really need to get out there, enjoy those days, and I'm hoping that my paintings really reflect that. There's a kind of a wilderness in us all, I think we're craving. So you'll see lots of wild, expansive skies with lots of expression in, and lots of free wildflowers bobbing their heads up. And then of course the island as well. Sometimes you'll see a little sail, and that sail typically represents our relationship with the elements, and by that I mean how small and insignificant we normally are amongst that. I sail quite a bit with my dad, and just in a small little sailing dinghy around the island or around the area, and I have done since I was a little girl. So it's that feeling of being out there and harnessing that energy, but know that you're quite vulnerable to that as well. So it's that lovely relationship that we have with nature and our environment that I try and encapsulate into a painting. So the show will consist of that. It'll also have some moorland pieces in there. The moorland pieces are done from a yurt which I go and hire up in Dartmoor every year, which is in the middle of nowhere. It's a beautiful Mongolian yurt, and I go up there for a month, and I go completely off grid with my dogs, and I have to get tracted in with a load of canvases, a load of really healthy food, and I just sit there until I'm in a space where I really need to just express the energy of the land. It's a special piece of rewilded land by the Devon Wildlife Trust, and it's a very special piece of this country, and so I like to express that. So my paintings are quite different. They're all done on plein air, and you're probably going to think I'm a real hippie now, but even so much as when I paint those pieces, I unwrap the canvases from their plastic, and I allow the canvases to really breathe, and I sit them under the tree for a couple of days, and I let the rain, the elements get to them. I let them really air and take the energy away from being this manufactured, transported thing that I'm then meant to paint on. So I like to let the moorland just impregnate its energy into the canvas before I actually paint it.
That's beautiful, I love that.
Do you?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sometimes I feel quite shy saying that, because it's like people are just going to think I'm completely cuckoo.
Isn't that beautiful though? Isn't that an incredible and really earthy, bringing the natural fibres, the natural elements of the canvas itself back to its original roots, really?
Absolutely. And it's, when you're faced with a stark white canvas, sometimes it is stark, and I know a lot of people when they're starting out painting, they feel quite daunted by that. And I want to paint raw, natural energy and the expression of it and our relationship to it. So it has to be the real deal for me, so when I paint out there, or if I'm on the island, it's the same thing. I really like to get out there with the elements, and sometimes you'll see pieces and you'll see sort of almost like raindrops. Those are actually raindrops there, and there's a beautiful relationship with the environment and the actual paint. When I go to the moors, or if I'm on the island for a period of time, I go there in order to further my practice as an artist, and that is, I still consider myself a student, although I've been painting for 30 years professionally. I still consider that I will remain a student and never the master. And so when I paint in those environments, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about the relationship between me, the canvas, the paints and the environment. And every time I put a paintbrush to canvas, there's something new that I learn. There's something, and then when I put the elements in there, there's always there's always an element of unpredictability. There's always an element of spontaneity, and when you combine that with artistic expression, it's exciting and it's a dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the exhibition, to answer a very long answer, so the exhibition will consist of a mixture of the two. So I'm hoping that people that come along will be able to really have a look at the difference of that, and to see the difference in my work, whether it's done in a studio environment or whether it's done in a natural environment.
Thank you. Really fascinating to hear about your process and what inspired the collection. So what is it that inspired this collaboration between us?
Well, we've known each other for a long, long time, haven't we?
Yeah. We've been here for about, well, it'll be 30 years this year.
Right, and I've been living down in Devon for 22 years. So we've always seen each other's, I've been into the gallery plenty of times, you've been into my shows plenty of times as well, and we've always supported one another. And this is the first time we've done this collaboration. It started off with the workshops, didn't it?
Yeah.
With the idea for a workshop with sip and paint, and then you suggested that I will bring along a collection in order to show the work, so to help inspire people in their painting process, and it sort of naturally, organically evolved from that.
Yeah, it's lovely to have two members of the community, or three if you count myself and my mum, Jane, as well as yourself, in this collaboration between locals and between small business.
It's so important, and thank you for offering the opportunity. And it's when you do face-to-face business in a world where our inboxes are so full, aren't they?
There's so much pressure on us to be online, to be digital, that the element of a human connection and gathering together, which I'm really excited about with Sip and Paint, and seeing art in real time that's not created by a computer, it's not AI generated, it's human connection, it's human expression, and something that we're lacking almost in these very digital times, so it's exciting to be bringing that back in.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's doing it as a collective as well, where you can hold space for people, so that if they've never painted before, or they've been stuck in a rut, or they want to push their practice a little bit further, or they want to learn new techniques or demonstrations or whatever, that you can hold space for people within that and help them and inspire them. Being an artist, it can be quite an isolating experience, because lots of people are just out there doing their thing in their bedrooms or their studios or camper vans or whatever they're doing, wherever they're doing it. When you come together as a collective, it becomes really powerful.
Absolutely.
And the act of painting, I think, is a really valuable experience for mind, body and soul.
Absolutely.
And I know you get that because you're someone that does yoga and you like to surf like I do, and we kind of, I don't know, we like the bigger picture things in life.
Yeah, for sure.
And art is definitely one of those things, which is a vehicle for that, to make you have that big thinking.
Connecting with your humanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes. So that's where it started, and looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
When it comes to your paintings, what kind of feeling or emotion do you want to inspire in people with your work?
I would love to inspire people when they look at one of my pieces to almost for it to be like a window to a memory or a place they want to be, where they have had days off and they felt at one, and they felt peace, and they felt free-spirited, or they felt like they've really owned their own time. Because we do get owned quite a bit, don't we, with our time. It's demanding, people lead really demanding lives, and I love to paint. I love to paint the times in people's lives where it's about going up on a coastal path and looking at an amazing view, or watching your kids play on the beach, or when you're out surfing, or you're out sailing, or you're watching an amazing wild sky and it's really elemental, and it reminds you of those things. It reminds you of those free-spirited days where you're just thinking, it feels good. It feels good to be out. A sense of freedom, a sense of being connected to nature, out in the elements and free. you know, that's what I want to paint. But I also, you'll see Burgh Island in a lot of my work. It's a family home.
Yeah, you are the Burgh Island Artist after all.
Yeah, and I've been painting there since I was 3 years old, so I've been painting there since before I could even write.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's a dream. It's still, I still have to pinch myself sometimes. It's a dream come true to be able to be a professional artist and have that as a major theme. And as soon as I step on that island, I feel like I'm home every time, and that feeling will never ever leave. And it's beyond houses, it's beyond, you know, hotels or people or anything else like that. It's just about my relationship to that piece of land. I think it's the best place in the world. I know a lot of other people love it. Energetically, it's really quite a special place, and it's an iconic landmark, you know. But it attracts people, everybody, from people that just want to go on the sea tractor and, you know, just fascinated by that. You know, little people that see these massive sea tractor wheels and like, oh my goodness, you know, it makes a big impact. To people that want to go into the pub and, you know, have a pint in really, really old pub. People go to very glamorous hotel or whatever, and then the people that sit on the top of the island and watch the sunset. And it attracts all those types of people. I was lucky enough to be there at lockdown on my own
Wow.
for 6 weeks. My children came and went because we don't have any Wi-Fi, so therefore went back to the mainland to go and study. But so I spent a lot of time. I think there was 6 other people there at the time when everything was shut down, and the weather was beautiful. And I had 6 of the best weeks of my life, which I was very, very fortunate.
Free, connected to nature,
Painting,
creative.
walking on the beach every day, just on my own. It was quite a surreal experience because the world was falling apart.
Yeah.
And I, you know, it's quite a, you know, there's quite a duality there. You know, the world was falling apart. I was living my best life as a painter on the island.
Paradoxical nature of reality.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. Very good words for it. And I remember at the time I've got a lot of people that work in the NHS as teachers, and they were having a hell of a time trying to keep society going, blah 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 blah. And I thought at the time, what can I do to give back to help these people? And I started filming the sunset from the island some evenings when we had lovely sunsets, and putting that online, and people would tune in. And I do like live things on Facebook or whatever, and I had, you know, people, friends of mine that run big, you know, hospitals and things, and they tuned in. They said, you know, it was 6 minutes of my life that I actually made time for. That really helped remember, you know, the good bits in life.
Yeah, the light on the horizon.
The light on the horizon, you know. And if I can dedicate my life to try and, either through painting or things like that, to just try and remind people that those things are important in life, then so be it. If that's my sole purpose, then absolutely so be it.
That's beautiful, I love that.
Yeah.